Well, it's finally time to say hello to you all here for the championship finale of the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports All-Stars. It's Paul Smith and Arjuna Kankapati here as always for this final round through the suburbs of Monza in Milan. And well, Arjuna, historic venue. It's the Temple of Speed, of course.
We come here with a glimpse to the future of Porsche Motorsports after we've seen so many fun cars. We now line up at a historic venue, a brand new car though to battle out. Let's talk a little bit about Monza though, because it's all about the straights and maximizing our performance through them in towards what are quite technical and tricky braking zones. Mistakes there can lead to follow-up opportunities, and we are likely to see side-by-side through the entirety of the 5.79 kilometers.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be all about the speed here today, and it's the run out of corners that's going to be the key point that these drivers have to contend with here today. We are currently in qualifying right now in the All-Stars, and well, this is a completely different car to what we've seen all the way through this season of the All-Stars, Arjuna, because we've gone electric.
Like I mentioned, a glimpse into the future. Unveiled at the end of 2021, the Porsche Mission R was meant to match the lap times of the 992 Cup car, but in a very different way. Look at the weight. We've added over 250 kilos, add a bit more power in race mode, 671 horsepower, but with the power of batteries and electric motors, when we go with qualifying, we can turn the wick up to 1,073 horsepower. That's what the drivers are trying to wrangle into control right now. It develops its speed in a very different sort of a way, and so after seeing this, it's going to be a very different sort of a race when we head over to the Supercup and that Cup car.
Yeah, certainly it's going to be a real challenge for these drivers to get used to this one, and we have got a few guests as well, it must be worth mentioning here today, because we've got a few of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers joining us as well. Parker White, Michael Conti and Matt Busa, and surprise, surprise, drivers who are used to quite a lot of horsepower, more of the gasoline variety, are all at the top of the qualifying positions at the moment. Oh, and we've also got our confirmed champion, Casey Kerwin, out there as well.
These drivers did head out here to Monza, but with no chicanes back on the 11th of April, a rather interesting ride for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. We'll see what the drivers have in store for us here today, though, because with qualifying underway, yes, Parker White, Michael Conti, and Matt Busa sit at the top, but Pablo Lopez is in the mix as well. Draft is going to play an ever-present factor in this race. Let's not forget, though, in the Super Cup, there are some open setups. Drivers can try some tricks to try and find some more speed through the corners while maximizing their ability in a straight line. Everyone in this All-Stars poll has a fixed setup. There's not much that they can really do to get more performance out of the car.
No, absolutely not. There is Michael Conti on screen right now, of course, the driver who currently leads the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. So he's a driver who's, well, he's having a bit of fun out here today, I think it's fair to say, and a nice relaxed atmosphere compared to what he's used to in that championship.
Continuing his retirement tour, I think, is the best way that we can put it for Michael Conti, who has, what, 2 victories this season so far, so it's been great to see Conti. Let's see how he'll fare in the race itself. Remember, we'll do a full invert for the second race of the procession today, so it always makes things a little bit more exciting. Here's Lubia of Ottereskovskaya, Love 46, someone that at Le Mans in that 911 RSR showed plenty of speed, but story of her All-Star season involved in some contact, hoping to sign off with some good fortune. Look at the paints though, some of these cars looking absolutely splendid.
Oh, the paint jobs that have been done on some of these cars are absolutely spectacular, and fair play to the people who have been working to get those paints up and running. I did say we've got a number of guests, because we've also got another streamer joining us as well, Aerotech. He's out there as well. The last of the current qualifying times have been set. There's Parker White, our current provisional pole sitter here in the All-Stars, and Parker's just, again, another one of those drivers just going to have a bit of fun.
And while we don't have TK in the field today, at least his team is represented, because let's not forget Parker White races for Canaan eSports in the eNASCAR Series. So it's great to see the colors and the sponsors back out on track after TK finished up his on-track career. We'll see, of course, Gustavo Ariel out in track for the Super Cup in that TXC Racing by TK car, trying to grant himself eligibility for 2024.
Yeah, so there's Aerotech, Keenan Curson, who is, well, He's entertaining. Let's just say that when we get him in the booth here, boy, are we gonna get some entertainment in the booth, because he is somebody who likes to. Well, if anybody watched the Happy Hour broadcast that we did a couple of weeks ago, you'll know what he's like in the booth when he's driving.
The artist formerly known as Mr. Aero HD is always a delight to have. We've seen him mostly doing dirt and drift style racing, but someone that's adaptable and working their way across of everything iRacing has to offer. Now, one car that I may be glad not to see out on track too much is the, as ever, distinctive #1 machine of Quirk, who is yet to set a qualifying time, but you won't miss his car when he heads out on track, which I think we're about to see right now. Yeah,
and of course, Quirk, last year's champion, not going to be champion this year. That is confirmed to be Casey Kerwin. So, yeah, Quirk is just here for fun. Emily, oh my goodness. It's been a difficult season for Emery, I think it's fair to say. And she's not had the best of luck out there. But the level of competition in the All-Stars has just ratcheted up all the way through this season. And she's decided, you know what, let's make some circles out there. But we're getting ourselves heading over to our starting grid in just a few moments time, where we'll see how these drivers line up in this opening race of this evening's broadcast. It is Parker White and Michael Conti then on the front row of the grid, with Matt Busa and Pablo Lopez in row number 2. Row 3 for our champion Casey Kerwin, with Xavier Sanchez in row number 3. Row 4, Dave Cam and Emery, with Bolshazarzo and Dan Suzuki, Straddy and Love 46, and at row number 6. And then the final row is Kenny 500 and Aero. And of course, right at the back will, of course, be Quirk. So, it's going to be a bit different. I can't see the revs rise at the start of these races, so my usual turn of phrase is going to have to change slightly out there. But we have no idea how this is going to go. Arjuna, very quickly, what do you think?
Well, you can say maybe the motors spool up. We're going to send the equivalent of, 10,000 horsepower off into turn number 1. Turn 1, lap 1, Monza. I don't think much is going to change past, present, or future. It's always going to be chaos. Let's see how it will play out.
So the drivers, almost a jump start there from the front row of the grid. Well, the electrons will go flying now. The drivers get underway. Is Michael Conti going to end up with a penalty from that one? He'll be lucky if he didn't. My goodness, as they go down towards the Rettifilio for the first time, 3 wide in the pack, but they're sorting themselves out 2 by 2 by 2. It's Noah's Ark all the way down there, out of the Rettifilio in towards Curva Grande for the first time. And the drivers working their way through. Parker White, though, has got a heck of a launch there, being able to get away already over Matt Busa, Michael Conti, and Casey Kerwin. It's an e-NASCAR 1, 2, 3, 4 right now.
It's not going to be for long, though. Michael Conti does have a black flag for a jump start, and you just saw the momentary jump on that grid before the lights went out. It's going to leave Casey Kerwin vulnerable to the likes of the Pulpo Lopez. But as we sweep through the Lesmos for the first time, it's going to be this run out of the second one that leads us towards Ascari. It's just under, or just over a kilometer before we'll get onto the brakes once again. And that slipstream will play a bit of a factor. Does Kerwin want to linger behind the number 8?
Well, if ever you've got people who know how to run in packs very close together, well, it's those drivers right at the front who know how to do it. So definitely a bit of experience there for those drivers. And they all know each other as well. They know how each other race. And, well, Arjuna, we've got our retirement tour veteran right here.
Yes, but unfortunately, Michael Conti's not far removed from a trip down to pit lane after a jump start, it seemed like, Michael.
Yeah, clearly I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't think the car would roll right there, but I found out. So this is very different than what I do or have ever done. I've never driven an EV, let alone an EV race car. So this is all new. So I'm learning, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to race here a little bit and then finally pit eventually, whatever that may be.
We're going to maybe put you 3 wide as well. You say that you...
Oh, am I going to leave the order? Okay.
Oh, you just about avoided that. Now you've got to slow down to add to the pain.
Okay. It's completely fine. I got to pit anyway, so my race is ruined. we're going to play the invert here on the second one. I think that's how it works. I know that much. And we're going to learn from my mess of a start and do better in race 2.
Well, that was more like the layout that you ran back with eNASCAR on 11th of April. We'll let you be for the time being. Best of luck with the full invert. Always great to have the eNASCAR drivers come and join us for a little bit of fun, though, Paul.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sir Michael. And yeah, this is we can have a bit of fun with these guys because they are very used to talking and driving at the same time. Usually with the spotter, not usually with with us two up in the commentary booth.
It also is slightly unfamiliar, I'm sure, to be doing standing starts for Michael Conti. Let's not forget eNASCAR rolling starts. And so as we check in with the fight for 5th position, I did get a little bit confused for a second because I thought that the gold machine must have been the Popo Lopez. But no, Casey Kerwin, rocking his championship status, does have gold colors on his XZ number 95. But behind Pablo, this is where we've got that fight for the top 5 in the championship, Paul, which, let's not forget, yes, Casey's confirmed himself as number 1. There's still 4 more Tag Heuer connected watches left to be determined.
Yeah, and it's all on the line here. So these drivers, you know, it's not just pride, it's also prizes that's on the line here for a few of these All-Stars. But Dave Cam, he's up there in 6th place. Conti's headed down pit road right now. He's going to take his medicine, and Contact 3 go around together on the exit of the Curva Alboreto. Oh, Kenny 500, Love 46 and Aerotech all around there at the exit then. And yeah, I think that was a little bit ambitious to try and get the 3 of them through. A little bit of a squeeze on the exit of the Retifilia there. Dave Cam and Pablo Lopez currently together there.
I think Pablo went just a little bit deep into that braking zone at turn number 1. And so as we're now joined by Aerotech, let's ask him, Keenan, what happened there into the Parabolica?
You know, I'm not even sure. I just saw an opportunity to go 3 wide and get on the TV, so I took it. And then I let the 2 more professional drivers take the inside, and all of a sudden we were backwards. So I gained a place, but I definitely didn't mean to run into the back of 46 at all. They just stopped.
Hashtag blame Keenan is what I'm pulling out of this one.
Sure, why not?
A little bit more used to you, I guess, being sideways, lighting tires up with smoke. What's this Porsche Mission R like?
When it's on fresh tires, it's not so bad, but that's the big thing is the tires die in like 3 or 4 laps, and it depends on how you've pushed. Either you're going to lose the fronts and have no turn and have to compensate with the rear, or you're going to lose the rears and just be sliding everywhere, which I fear is going to be my fate here in about a lap or 2. So being aggressive while still trying to balance the tires is basically the big key. This thing's a whole lot of fun to drive too because of that. It really, like, as soon as it starts getting loose, it really, like, how brave do you feel into this braking zone? It's a ton of fun.
Well, it seems like this might be a little bit of a future for Porsche Motorsport, but you join us for the very first time as a Porsche All-Star. You didn't deprive us of any entertainment, but with a full invert, you'll be starting at the front of our second race. What should we expect from you there?
Probably fire, maybe a small explosion. I'm definitely terrified of braking early because I don't know what I'm doing compared to, you know, all the Coke pros in here, and getting run over. So we'll see. If I survive turn 1, we might be with another shot, but unlikely.
And then everyone's got to worry about the fact that you may have cooked your tires, and then if the rears are the one that's struggling, you'll be right in your wheelhouse with drifting around, I'm sure.
I will be, but I will be very wide, I hope. We're going to hope for a top 10 in that second race.
Well, as we see side by side into that second chicane, still the Popo Lopez and Dave Cam going side by side. Thanks for joining us, Aero. We'll see you off in the second race. But Paul, look at the smorgasbord heading off into Lesmo too.
Oh, and that's Emery going around through front of shot there. So into Lesmo, into the first of the Lesmos. Emery, that's the second time we've seen her around. Oh, into the wall there. That's going to definitely need a bit of a polish on that car. Definitely a lot going on to the forecourt, but back up in this race for position, and Dave Cam still staying there in 5th place, but the Popo Lopez is certainly trying and break away from Dave at this point in time. And if Keenan thinks that the eNASCAR drivers are good on the brakes, well, you just had to rewind the tape to a few laps ago with Michael Conti going straight on at turn 1.
We are somewhat seeing an eNASCAR masterclass at the front, though, because Parker White, Matt Bussa, and Casey Curran, yes, have lost Michael Conti, but have pulled, what, 5-6 seconds over that gap of gaggle of fourth on back that we were watching. And so now this is where those time management skills, we'll get to see how it's all going to work out. But let's also check back in with some of the action that we've already seen through the course of this race. Saw the brief puff of smoke as Emily Jones went around, not for the first time today, but this was sending the left tires onto the grass, balance pitched around, and from there, well, Emily Jones off into the gravel and then got the damage onto the car.
Yeah, and it just takes that very slight little touch of the grass, and before you know it, you're facing the wrong way in the wall, and yeah, it's not ideal. It's suboptimal, is what we usually say on some of these shows. But right now, those guys at the front, they just running around together. Parker White at the back of them, so Casey Kerwin, Matt Bussa, and then Parker White at the front, should I say, on board with Casey, heading down towards the Ascara chicane. And this chicane is different to the others. It's all about carrying the speed through these corners, whereas the others, the Rettifilio and the Della Roggia, are very much a stop-and-go type of chicane, as a little bit wide, catching the dirt from Matt Bussa.
Oh, very, very close there, and that's a talking point as well. You talk about where you carry the speed, but through Lesmo 1 and 2, for example, track limits are such an important point, how far out wide you can push, and even when you get to the slower speed corners, it's about how much you can cut to minimize the distance that you travel. So many different things to consider at a track that might seem as quote-unquote simple as Monza, with its flat nature and plenty of high-speed bursts. Look, on board with two eNASCAR drivers, Matt Bussa, a veteran, Parker White, a relative newcomer, but someone that not just competing with Canaan eSports, checking up, by the way, into that first chicane, got me a bit scared there for a moment, but Parker White, Paul, part of the Apex Racing Academy as well.
Yes, has got that little bit of help behind the scenes as well, hasn't he, from the roadside, definitely, as Parker. And that's certainly helping an event like this. Okay, they may not have the experience in the Mission R, but certainly being able to work together with that one. But Arjuna, we've got our top two right now, Parker White, Matt Bussa.
Yeah, we've brought the eNASCAR drivers back to Monza, but this time put them in some electric cars. Start with you, Matt. How are you feeling in the middle of this sandwich, especially with our already crowned champion Casey behind you guys?
Hey, we just got caught up to Parker here, working with Casey. That was pretty good. And I'm getting a little loose in the braking, so I'm curious if the tire wear is going to get much worse here in the last half of this race, but we'll see if we can get around Parker here.
Parker, you've been working a little bit with those Apex Racing Academy guys, done some endurance racing with them. How are your tires feeling right now?
Yeah, kind of the same as Matt. I'm kind of sliding around a bit, but it's mostly just because of how hard I'm using the brakes. I think if I use the brakes a bit less, I think I'd be better. But I'm just kind of sliding entry off the corner, but other than that, it was good.
Must be somewhat new for both Parker and Matt to be talking with commentators during the race. It's not new for Casey, though. Casey, how's it going back there in third?
Oh, it's going swimmingly. I only tried to kill all of us twice into turn one already. Thankfully, I've actually started to make turn one, so
You got it, Casey.
yeah, it's been good. So thankfully these things have a good amount of draft, and hopefully may as well go for it, huh? Shall we?
There we go. Casey into turn number one. Oh, Parker gives him a bit of a squeeze, and now Casey got to get the run out of turn two here.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. You know, if it was the layout we did back in the old eNASCAR race, we could just go straight through here and almost have a hellacious accident through the no chicane here. But yeah, it's the car's pretty tricky on the long run. Honestly, when I drove it when it first came out, it was kind of the same way. It's pretty fun. It's a little understeery, like short run with that being all-wheel drive, but once it loosens up, it actually kind of slides around a bit and gets pretty fun. So yeah, it'll be interesting in the last few laps, see how our tires hold on and how racy this gets. But it's been good so far.
so far. Don't forget that you guys will have to work your way through a full invert in that second race, and hopefully we'll get to disturb you again. Thank you guys for joining us. But Paul, while we've been talking to the guys at the front, that battle for fourth seems to be picking up in intensity.
Yeah, the Pulpo Lopez and Dave Cam, they are still absolutely neck and neck, but right there on the tail of Dave Cam is Heike 360 as well. Dan Suzuki's just dropped back that little bit as they go into the Ascari chicane. Dave Cam feeling the need to go defensive into that left-hander at the start of the Ascari chicane. Out of there they go, down the back straightaway, heading towards the Curva Alboreto. It is the Parabolica, let's be honest. It's what we always know it as, but yeah, I like to try at least to get the official name in there. But through the right-hander, get on the power, plenty of power in these cars. And as Casey said there, four-wheel drive as well. It's not what these drivers are used to in this series, in this All-Stars.
It's definitely the curveball, right? We've had very traditional racing machines, and now as Casey Kerwin makes a mistake at the front of the field, he'll get a slowdown. Opportunity for Dave Cam to finally get past the Pulpo Lopez if he can wrangle that car down to braking speed as they work off of that first chicane. It is still going to be side by side, but watch Casey at the top, potentially going to get swarmed.
As they go through towards the second chicane, and I think Casey's actually served that slowdown penalty, you know. I think he's got away with that one, and he's still at the front. Maybe Parker White and Matt Booster thinking the long game here and saying, do you know what, we'll just hang back and let them go. Pulpo Lopez, so you see on the bottom screen, really struggling out of the De La Rogia. That's just allowed Dave Cam to pull away slightly. And now Heike 360 is wanting to join the action, along with Dan Suzuki. Stradian and Bolshazarzo not that far behind either.
Dan Suzuki came into this round of the championship 15 points, only 4 points clear though of Dave Cam, so they are in effect fighting over a Porsche Tag Heuer connected watch. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out in that second race as well, because as they snake at the top heading towards what will be 3 laps to go, we have seen that the draft does play a factor, and so as much as Pablo in that Team PGZ car seems to be struggling, look how as now they head into the Parabolica of their own volition, he's already closed back up to Dave Cam and is surely going to be thinking he can get back up to 4.
Yeah, he's and this is the thing, it's where do you want to be? It's positioning yourself to be in the right place at the right time in terms of any draft train. As they start this lap, 3 laps to go, as you said, Arjuna, in towards the chicane at the Rettifilio, start of the lap. Heavy braking, and with these cars they do use regen braking, so they use the electric motor. When you go off the throttle, it will then act as a brake and also recharge some of the battery. That's one of the tricks that you have to get used to when it comes to racing these electric cars. So again, different driving styles will suit this better than others.
You talk about regen braking. This car can recharge, fast charge at 350 kilowatts, puts it from 5 to 80% in about 15 minutes. Regen braking is 800 kilowatts. That's how much it slows the car down and how much it can dump back into the battery. It's such an important talking point. And Paul, the Mission E, a Porsche concept car, previewed the Taycan 4 years before that car debuted in its full production form, with this Mission R debuting in 2021. I'm just hoping that come 2025, maybe there's a full production version of this that we'll see in Porsche 1 Make Series across of maybe the virtual and real worlds.
I'll tell you what, I've actually sat in a Taycan. Lovely,
oh, it's lovely.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely, but well out of my price range, and that is for sure. But yeah, it is a sensational car, and Dave Cam now joining us in the commentary booth. Dave, I mean, you're at the front of the queue. Is that the place that you really want to be at this stage of the race?
Not really, no. I'm trying to keep Pablo at bay. Pablo's super quick. I don't know what's going on here. Is there some kind of conspiracy theories? Heike gonna jump past me here? Is Pablo gonna play part? I don't know. It's all a bit suspicious right now, and I'm nervous, but it's good fun. It's good fun.
Well, don't forget, Dave, that you are also fighting for the top 5 finish in the championship as well. Get yourself a Tag Heuer connected watch, so
Absolutely.
you need to get all the points that you can get.
Yes, well, my main rivals are Heike and Dan. So I think I'm 4 points behind Heike, who's in P5. So if I can beat them both twice, then I'm gonna have some bling. But it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got to earn it, that's for sure. I mean, they won't give it to anyone. I mean, they definitely don't give it to us in the commentary booth. But, you know, you're looking at this race right now. In this car, how are you finding this car?
Oh, this car's incredible. Lots of understeer, but it's heavy. When you understand the car, it's not too bad, but what a fun car it is to drive. I could just do a little bit more power to the rear, but it's insanely fast. In qualifying trim, it is absolutely mental. Huge fun. I love it.
Well, we can tell by the big smile on your face, that is for sure. But, yeah, this season, it's been incredible. It's been really competitive as well, and getting that win at Long Beach, it must seem a long time ago, but it's a hell of an achievement on this grid.
Absolutely. I mean, I came into the series thinking, oh, this is going to be a bit of fun, but I have never ever been part of a series or league that has been so competitive. Oh, little touch there from Heike. It is super, super competitive. It is ridiculous. So these guys at the front, they're on another level. But it's been super fun.
Right, well, it's the last lap. We'll leave you to it, Dave. All the best.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.
As the battle at the front continues, and it's almost rubbing door panels between the two of them. Kerwin and Parker White have been able to gap out Matt Buser here, Arjuna. So something's happened to Matt in this race in the last couple of laps, but Kerwin and Parker White at the front for the win. This one's not over yet.
Not sure if Matt made a mistake and cut the course, got a slowdown, or if it just maybe struggling with the balance of the car at this late point in the race. But remember, with a full invert coming up, it's also going to be an 11th lap race. The drivers deal with equal race distances, have to manage the tires equally as well. Kerwin and White almost leaned on one another through turn number 1 on this final lap, running out of time for Parker White. Surely it's going to be into the parabolica that we see him make his move.
I mean, we've seen races decided at the very line. Now, you got to remember with this venue, the finish line, the timing line, is right at the far end of the grid. It's not at where the start line is. So just where the podium is, that's where the drivers will cross to see the checkered flag. So if you're going to make a move, you've got to make it early out of that final corner at the parabolica. Look at Kerwin. He's trying to break the draft, do everything that he can. He's got to be careful not to weave too much into the parabolica for the final time. Get the run out of there, Parker. Oh, it's almost contact between the two of them. Parker White has to back off, and that means that Casey Kerwin, your champion this year in the All-Stars, he will take victory here. Parker White, though, and Matt Buser finish off the podium. What an impressive debut here in the Porsche All-Stars. As look further back, because coming across the line, Pulpo Lopez does keep fourth ahead of Dave Cam and Heike 360.
Really fun way to kick off our championship showdown here at Monza. And as we wait for the final couple of cars to come to the line, Aerotech and Love 46 closely following one another for 12th and 13th position. Paul, tire wear seems to be such a major factor, as there's Love 46 down the inside. Not sure if Keenan's going to really be able to get the power down with what seems to be a damaged car at the front. But tire wear seems to be such an important factor. Now we'll throw in the chaos of a full invert.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll love that one. Full invert across the line, the two of them together. And wow, it is so, so close between Love 46 and Aerotech. We'll take you through your results from that opening race of the day. Casey Kerwin then, who does win ahead of Parker White and Matt Buser to make it a eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series 1, 2, 3. The Pulpo Lopez and Dave Cam, 4th and 5th, absolutely together with Heike 360 there. Dan Suzuki ahead of Stradi with Borja Zaza and Quirk rounding out the top 10. Kenny 500 just then on their own in 11th with Blue 46 and Aerotech. He saw them across the line. Michael Conti getting that drive-through penalty at the start of the race, and Emily Jones, Emery, with damage from that instant at the first Lesmo. So that is the end of that opening race of today here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports All-Stars. We've got another 11-lap race coming up for you in just a few moments' time. Paul Smith and Arjuna Kankapati here as always. And well, I mean, that opening race had some excitement in it, that's for sure, Arjuna. We saw that the slipstream is strong here.
Yes, and let's talk with our race winner. Let's learn a little bit more about that slipstream. Casey, you've already crowned yourself a champion. Just showing off at this point, right?
I guess so. No, it was it was a good race. I was like I said earlier, trying to run everyone over to turn one. It's a weird adjustment, you know, going from normally you have less grip when you get into the race trim of a car or a set, but with how much slower it is race trim compared to quali, you actually brake a lot deeper. So trying to find that limit again and getting used to the draft and stuff was definitely very interesting. But it was a fun race, and now it's going to be a wild one coming from the rear.
Yeah, and we've got a pretty big field as they're going to head off down in towards turn number one. Sounds like you had an interesting time getting to grips with that regenerative braking.
Yeah, it's definitely a little interesting. I feel like it's quite good, but if you barely overstep it, I feel like the limit is very smaller. It's a very fine line of if you barely overstep getting in deep, then you're gonna go pretty wide, or hopefully have a car in front of you to slow me down like I did with Booster that one time. So yeah, hopefully I don't go bowling into turn one here and we get through safely.
Hey, no, this is not Watkins Glen, but congratulations on the victory. But Paul, he's now got to do it all the way from the back.
Absolutely, from the very final row of the grid. But it is Emery and Michael Conti then on the front row, with Aerotech and Love 46 row number 2. Row 3, Kenny 500 and Quirk. Fourth row of the grid for Paul Giazzo and Stradi. Then it is Dan Suzuki and Heike 360 on row number 5. The 6th row, Dave Cam and the Pulpo Lopez, they will continue their fight out there. Bat Booser, Parker White in row number 7. And on his own, at the very back of the grid, Casey Kerwin. So we're getting ready for the final race of the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports All-Stars here. It's been a tremendous season, has this one, and I, for one, am looking forward to one final inverted grid here. Arjuna, we've got about 40 seconds to go here. It's been fun this season.
All-Stars is always a lot of fun. Let's be honest, Paul. You've been an All-Star yourself. You know how much fun it is to just go out there and have a blast. And usually it sets the tone for the World Championship drivers to try and pick up, which it's always a lofty goal. I'm now very curious what it's going to be like for our eNASCAR drivers at the back. Although Michael Conti at the very front has got a ridiculous chance to break away at the front, you'd think.
Oh, absolutely, and I think I was just all, I wasn't the star, that's for sure. As we're getting ready for the start of this final Porsche Tag Heuer eSports All-Stars race, the drivers will look to the starter's gantry for the final time here at Monza. Getting ourselves set for the start of this race. It's green flag, and we are underway for 11 laps of action. It's an electric start from the front as they're heading down towards the first chicane at the Rettifilio, onto the brakes. Michael Conti's looking to the inside of Emily Jones. It's all stacking up a bit further back, a little bit of bumping and barging, but everyone's making their way through the Rettifilio for the first time in this race. Michael Conti early to the lead in this one. He did not jump the start, so that's the first challenge done. Now he's got to try and convert this into a win. But Emily, if she can get a bit of luck here, she can use the draft, hang on to Michael, and try and put some pressure on towards the end of this race.
You said it was an electric start for the front row. I don't mean to be pedantic, Paul. It was an electric start for everyone in the field. Most of all, though, for the Popo Lopez, who has gained 4 positions to be up into 8th spot. Parker White, Casey Curran, +3 respectively, as we're going to dive our way through those Lesmos for the very first time. This is where, for those drivers that are trying to work their way forward, they've got to make sure that they are single file into Ascari, because like you mentioned earlier, It's one of those corners where you're carrying momentum through the corner, not so much worrying just about corner exit.
And this car right now will feel as good as it does all race. Opening lap, tyres are just coming in nicely to this one. It'll be giving the drivers plenty of confidence. But you don't want to abuse the tyres too much at this early stage as well, to try and to keep yourself going towards the end of the race. There's Casey trying to make the move on the cars in front. Through the go down Suzuki, trying to duke it out with them as well. Further down the order there, Michael Conti with a 0.2 of a second lead over Emily Jones, with Kenny 500 already 2.5 seconds back from your leaders. So the front two have made a real break for it.
It shows the price of fighting through some of these slower corners. You see just how defensive they go further back through the field. Quirk holds on as Aero gets a shove from behind, and I think that was a car shortcutting the track. Was that Matt Busa? I think it was.
Oh dear. Yeah, serve your penalty, take your medicine, and then get back up underway for Busa. Of course, we've actually commentated on Matt before in some of the dirt commentaries that we've done in the past, so he is a good competitor at the top of the iRacing eSports side of things. There's that lead race at the moment, though. It's Michael Conti and Emily Jones, and you've got to feel for Emily, because she's having to wake up so early in the morning to be able to compete in these races in the All-Stars. She is a former champion in the All-Stars as well, so she knows how to compete at this level.
I talk about it so much with Jordan, right? How impressive it is for Jordan to be able to compete at the level that he does at the World Championship lead. Equally impressive for Emily Jones, who has to wake up earlier and has to be entertaining, while Jordan gets to just focus on driving. But right now, Emily, you've got to be a little bit focused on Michael Conti in front of you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very tired, but I'm doing okay. Hanging in there, yep.
Well, Michael, no jump start this time by, so that's box one checked. How were the tires feeling, though, before you pulled down to pit lane at the end of race one?
Pretty bad, so I am going to try not to have them feel like that at the end of this run, but I got a lot of pressure behind me, so I don't know how likely it is that I won't burn them off, but I am going to try.
It does help a little bit when they're trying to go 2 and 3 wide behind you guys, but Emery, we've got to get you a little bit closer and trying to make the move so that we can bring them closer into the equation.
I could do that. That is a good idea, but I could also just chill here and vibe, and then on like lap 10 I'll be in second, and then it's like, that's pretty good too as well, right?
I guess, but I've got to try and make it a little bit more exciting. Michael, let's talk about the retirement tour very quickly, because it's been a great career for you in eNASCAR, and, well, final season's been going pretty well as well, with 2 victories already as Casey Kerwin goes around.
Well, that's good to hear. The victory part and Casey going around, because he probably would have gotten here at some point, so I appreciate his willingness to give us some time to shine up here, but yeah, retirement tour's been great. It's always good to go out with a bang, with 2 victories and a bunch of good runs so far. Pleased with how that's going, and we got a long way to go, but it's definitely shaping up to be a good last year for us.
You've been a part of the series since, what, 2011, so...
Yep.
Talk to us about the progression that you've seen at this World Championship level in the decade or so as well.
Yeah, I mean, the competition's just gotten so crazy hard over the last couple of years. Everybody's within a couple hundredths in qualifying, and I mean, the smallest mistake and you're starting in the back, and then with the races being shorter now, it's just always go, go, go. There's no time to wait. So it's definitely a lot more urgency than there was back when I was first starting out a decade ago, but really cool to see where iRacing's come, where the series has come. The partnership with NASCAR is awesome. They do a lot for us. Coca-Cola obviously as well. So really great series, and just looking forward to some more good runs before 23 is over.
Playoffs not far away. Michael Conti doing a great job in 2023, but let's check back in with all this chaos. Yes, Casey Cohen Paul has been around, but 3 wide into turn 1 yet again.
Oh, and they're all bumping, banging, swapping paint as well. It's all going along. I mean, they are knocking this car around quite a bit. I mean, this car, it is worth pointing out that it does share quite a lot of parts with various Porsches in the Rangers. Certainly, some of the parts are shared with a couple of the Porsches, and they are plastic panels, but they're reinforced as well with a mesh, so they are quite durable.
Today I learned something. I did know that the electric part of this car, as I think that was Strati, got a big wiggle out of Lesmo on. Electronics in this car designed by the same team that did the 919 hybrid and carried a lot of that forward. Let's check in though, Paul, with a couple more of our drivers.
Yeah, we've just got Quirk and the Popo Lopez, who are together there, 5th and 6th place. I mean, Pablo, right now, you're in that 5th place. You've been making the way through the field, but you're in a bit of pressure, aren't you?
I am. Totally, I am.
Very few words there. Quirk, I'm sure you'll give us a few words on that one. You're nice and calm, aren't you, out there?
You know, I'm just enjoying the feel. I'm taking it all in. It's the last race of the season. You know, it's just a beautiful day in Monza.
And you're there repping TK as well on the shirt as well. You couldn't race here today, but you got to represent your friend, haven't you?
Yeah, in the first race, I thought, you know, I did go to Indy. Oh, it's happening. Oh, we're going in on the inside. It's happening. Oh, my God. I did get to see him race at his final Indy 500 race, and he made a pass in the grass, and I thought I would try the same thing, you know. He's a bad influence. It didn't work out that well for me.
Now, little birdie just told me that you rebuilt your rig last night. How did that go?
Oh my, it went great. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry, it's stuck. Oh my God. You know, it was great. It was great. Couldn't have gone better. God. What is happening?
Well, what's happening is you're ahead of Pablo, and Pablo's just ahead of the 46 right now. I mean, there was grass. There was grass, there was gravel, there was everything. I mean, Pablo, I mean, how's the heart rate going right now?
140 something. Yeah. Totally pumping.
I must be doing something wrong, because I think when I race, I'd never get over 110. So, I mean, Pablo, you must be...
Well, you have to be fast to get it that high. No.
Oh! Pun intended. I think I have some damage because my car doesn't... Maybe I need a recharge of battery now.
Well, I mean, you use that regen braking to help it up, but you know, certainly you got this great run, but you've got a bit of draft now from Love 46. I mean, how has that draft been helping you out here today?
Totally a lot, because there's a lot of draft in these cars. I love it.
We'll leave you
scared about me.
We'll leave you to it, guys. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your race.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Never have I heard such a savage comment as Quirk saying that you need to go fast to get your heart rate up. Yeah, thanks for that. We've got the race for 9th place going on right now. Dan Suzuki's trying his best to hold on to that one ahead of Heike 360. Dave Cam's involved in this one as well. This is crucial for the top 5 out of Curva Grande there.
Borja Zaza almost got escorted into the gravel on the outside of Curva Grande. Oh, that's a big old slide for Dave Cam, and like you said, this is where I think the intrigue is going to be for the top 5, especially since you've got someone like Matt Busa in the mix who, well, is not really fighting for points. He's just here for some fun and to try and make his way forward as many spots as he can. Remember, coming into this round of the championship, 5th was Dan Suzuki, 6th was Heike 360, 7th was Dave Cam, and so given how closely they finished together in race number 1, with still half of this race number 2 left to go, it's still all to play for.
If people are just joining us right now and wondering what the importance is of finishing in the top 5 of the championship, well, the top 5 of our All-Stars all get themselves a Tag Heuer connected watch. So who wouldn't want to finish in the top 5 of the series? Let's have a look then. And we've got to go to the triple box here. It feels like red zone on a Sunday evening in September because we've got the race for the lead at the top there of your screen. Race for third is going on at the moment with Kenny 500. There's Quirk there, Love 46 as well involved. The fifth is going on, eighth as well. There's action all over this track right now, Arjuna. It's difficult to know where to look.
I'm firmly focused in that battle for fifth right now. Quirk's up the inside of Kenny 500 for third and fourth, but behind them, the Popa Lopez, Love 46, Parker White. Look anywhere you want around Monza, and there are Missionars fighting side by side. And if this is what the future of motorsports looks like, yes, please, sign me up, because I like drivers struggling with tire wear. It's always intriguing to make them have to drive the wheels off the car, which they're really having to do with track temperatures seemingly quite high.
And they've been going up all the way through these two races as well, so it's the hottest it's been all race. I mean, look at that race for third place. They're absolutely just 2 by 2 all the way through. Sensational stuff. Oh, a little bit of a hip check there from Quirk. He wasn't going to give an inch there on the exit of the first Lesmo. Oh, and where do you look then? Because Pablo Lopez is trying to give a little bit of bump drafting now to Quirk down towards the Ascara chicane. And this, well, my spidey senses are going off right now. This has the makings of a huge accident.
I'm very intrigued about Paul Smith's origin story in the Spider-Verse, but it doesn't, I don't think, take much to recognize that. Off went Parker White, but somehow we survived that for the time being. We'll head towards the Parabolica, almost 3 wide once again, though, with cars just looking for a way to go. Going to be inside for Pablo Lopez as he tries to get to the inside of Quirk, but it's Quirk that will lead them in this train for third that now builds all the way to 13th spot.
You know what, I haven't seen this amount of traffic since a bank holiday Monday on the M25 coming back from Dover, but heading towards the start and finish straight and across the line they go, and it is still just a case of everybody for third place. Nobody wants to get that place, or Kenny 500. Wow, talk about getting on the brakes there. It was all the power of that regen braking then. As Dave Cam as well, he's struggling, he's dropping back a little bit from Heike 360 and Dan Suzuki.
I think he went sideways on the exit of turn number 1, and so that's why he's actually dropped back a little bit to that 12th position, and advantage in that fight for 5th in the championship now probably swings the way of Heike 360. There is way too much math going on, and what do I always say? You should never trust a commentator's math, especially when it's Arjuna sat in the booth. So I have no idea where 5th is lying, but there is a Tagcore connected watch going somewhere around the world right now.
Well, what we can see is at the front, Michael Conti and Emily Jones, they have got an 11-second lead over Quirk in third place. Quirk's got nearly a second lead over Pablo Lopez now, so those two have stretched the legs after working their way forward. Quirk up 3 places, Pablo Lopez up 8 places in this race right now. Kenny 500 where he started, Love 46 down 2, Parker White up 7 places as well. This has certainly been exciting, and Love 46 duking it out once again, down the back straight, heading towards the Parabolica. And at the moment, Parker White just having to stay behind Love 46 into the corner, trying to get the run out. Emily, she's just sat patiently. She said this, didn't she? She'd just be happy to sit in second place.
I do think there is an element of there's damage coming into play here, because the Popa Lopez told us that he felt like his car was a bit of a parachute. And if you look at it, the front end looks quite dinged in, and we've seen a couple of those accordion effects play out over the course of the race, especially in that second grouping of cars. And so I do wonder if there's anyone at a disadvantage. Emily said she was willing to wait until, what was it, lap 10 in the race? I don't necessarily think that until that final lap, until we see the white flag, that she is going to look for the move. But right now, what is she doing? Figuring out where Michael Conti is struggling with tires so that she can try and pounce come to that final lap.
I think going on to the start of the last lap, you want to be in second place around here. You do not want to be leading this one as they go through the second Lesmo, plunge downhill underneath the old banking here. Of course, historic Grand Prix venue, used to have the oval layout as part of it. into the Ascara chicane. You can see how Michael Conti's now having to compromise his line into the Ascara chicane, really back up that car. And Emily, she just wants to sit behind. She's happy to let off the gas, but maybe just showing her hand right now.
Maybe just trying to compromise Michael a little bit and just see where he's struggling. Not outside of the parabolic, it's not a passing place, but you can set up a run if you get onto the power nice and early, switch back and then tuck into the draft, check back in with that grouping behind. Pablo is caught up with Quirk for third. You got Parker White having to fight with Kenny 500 through that final corner. Has very much broken up though compared to the swarm of missionars that we saw a handful of laps ago.
You can barely see the leaders in the same shot as that race for 5th place, as Emily not going ahead. Was that her just practicing for the end of this lap across the line there? That is what we'll have to wait and see, as still Kenny 500 trying his best to hold on to 5th place in this race ahead of Parker White. Love 46 still 7th. Heike 360 in that 8th ahead of Dan Suzuki. Intriguing to see where they all pan out for that top 5, Arjuna.
Emily's doing what I call downloading data and running it through her algorithms, right? She's, like you said, practicing for the next lap, but again, seeing where Michael places his car. Not so for the likes of Parker White and Kenny 500. They're just looking for track position. What a wonderful pass that was. The All-Stars always put on a show. I'm getting word in my ear as well. There may be some eNASCAR rivalries brewing here, because Casey Kerwin and Matt Busa may have tangled with one another.
Well, that was simply a magnificent move around the outside into the Della Roggia there from Parker White. And these eNASCAR drivers showing themselves to be a dab hand around here, that is for sure. But Casey Kerwin and Matt Busa coming together, well, they'll have to sort themselves out down in pit road, I suppose, really, and to sort that one out. But we're going to be starting the final lap of the race. The race for the lead now will really heat up at the front, because Conti leads at the start of the last lap. That is where the finish line is there. So you've got to get any moves done before that line the next time by. The race for 7th still ongoing for Love 46, but Emily stalking a prey, not able to make any moves. Conti goes deep into the Rettifilio. Emily Jones trying to go around the outside. It's not happening this time, Arjuna.
What Casey did so well at the end of the first race was block the pass through the final corner by parking it on corner entry. We'll have to see if that's going to happen this time by, because Emily Jones, I think, is running out of opportunities. Bit of a stack up in that fight for 7th. Love 46 sees Dan Suzuki shoved down to 10th. Crucial in that fight for 5th in the championship.
Oh, that was a big mistake going into the Della Roggia for Emily. Just sliding the car through there. It loses a couple of tenths of second. She's still in the draft right now, but how much extra tyre temperature has that put into her tyres? How bad will that car feel? She's dropped back to nearly 7/10 of a second back. Michael Conti's got a healthy lead right now at the front. He just needs to keep it nice and clean through the end of this race, Arjuna.
It's going to be this through Ascari that determines if Emily Jones is close enough to have a look. Tires at their most desperate. Like you said earlier, track temperature's been rising, but Michael Conti rides that car as perfectly as you like to hold the margin steady on the final lap of the race.
Heading down towards the Curva Alboreto for the final time for the All-Stars. This is the end of the last race of the All-Star season, and it's going to be guest driver Michael Conti who wins it. We've got cars in the wall on the exit of the Ascari chicane, but back at the front, Michael Conti is going to take victory here. Finished last in race 1, finishes first in race 2. Emily Jones finishes in 2nd, and then you've got to look an absolute age back to Pablo Lopez, who's finishing in 3rd place, just ahead of Quirk, Parker White, Kenny 500, Heike 360 and Love 46 then ahead of Stradi. And then it's Dan Suzuki, Paul Giazzo and Dave Cam finishing in that order. Casey Kerwin and Aerotech, and then Matt Busa will be the last one across the line. But we are going to head ourselves into the buzz post-race show. And well, that was an entertaining couple of races here today, and it is Michael Conti who wins 0.6 of a second ahead of Emery in second place. The Pulpo Lopez third place, but look at how close it was between him, Quirk, and Parker White at the line. Kenny 500 just finishes ahead of Heike 360 with Love 46 in 8th place. Straddy 9th with Dan Suzuki rounding out the top 10. Porsche Zazo ahead of Dave Cam. Casey Kerwin then in 13th with Aerotech 14th. And Matt Booser after that coming together with Casey, rounding out your finishing results. Well, we'll be getting a word with a few of our drivers now. Junior, you're standing by with our winner.
Michael Conti was able to hold off the challenge, and you were able to hold the gap on that final lap as well after what looked like some intrigue through turn number 1. Talk us through what was going through your mind as you started to slide a little bit deep.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that my weakness in that race was under braking, so I tried to send it in a little bit harder into that last turn 1 there, and that didn't work. So that opened the door, and Emily was right there, and had a good battle out of there, and yeah, just like you said, I was able to manage the gap the last lap, but that was tough. That was a drive. I am worn out, so that was really good stuff up front.
And I'm sure there's plenty that you can carry forward to that next eNASCAR race at the Worldwide Technology Raceway on the 13th of June.
I have learned so much here tonight that I can apply to that. So the WR1 Camaro is going to take some notes from this WR1 Porsche, and we're going to see if we can get win number 3 on the season.
Love that you're repping the Coca-Cola guys as well. Congratulations, Michael, on a victory. Congratulations on what's been a great career, and hopefully you'll sign off with a great note at the end of 2023. We'll make our way to the second step of the podium, though, where former champion Emily Jones tried, but ran out of time, it seemed like, Emily.
Yeah, I did my best, and ran out of time. I wasn't quite, I was similar speed. I just couldn't get past, but that's okay.
4 very different Porsche machines that we had this year. Which one was your favorite?
Honestly, this one was really fun. Unpopular opinion, a lot of people ew, electric cars, don't like it, but I like it. I think it's quite fun. It's quite different. I quite like it. Otherwise, my other favorite is another one that people don't really like, the GT4. Well, they like, but it's not their favorite. Those are my 2 favorites, I would say. Yeah.
Sounds like we've got the car selection for next year's All-Stars already locked and loaded then. Thanks for joining us for another great year, Emily, and we'll see you, hopefully, in 2024.
Thanks.
Last but not least, the driver that joined us late in the championship but almost got up to second. Pablo, what a run that you had after joining us as a Porsche All-Star. A podium to close things out. You still got that big smile on your face.
Always. This racing is like my passion, so racing like this, for me, brings me a smile, always.
We saw you miss out on our first 3 races in the Cup car, but you joined us in the GT4, the RSR, and now in this Mission R. How much fun have you had racing across the different machines? Which one was your favorite that we competed with?
They were all good and really even playing field with the reverse grids, but the most fun I got is the Porsche GTE RSR because the sound and how it handles. This electric one is epic on the straights in quali trim, but in race trim I feel I wanted more push, but still on corners is so difficult to brake, and turning is a workout.
I think what it sounds like is you need quali mode while you're racing. So we'll talk to Porsche and see what we can do for next year. But Pablo, hopefully we get you for all the races in 2024. Congratulations on the top 5 and your Tag Heuer connected watch.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me. Sad because I didn't get to P2 on the standings, but I tried.
He tried, and we'll talk very quickly with our champion. We talked with him enough, though, to be honest, Casey. I mean, dominant season for you. How do you reflect on 10 very fun All-Star rounds?
Yeah, it was just a super fun season. Again, obviously got to be a part of it last year for the last half or so, and had a lot of fun with everyone. And then doing the whole year this season was, again, a bunch of fun. A lot of good memories, a lot of fun moments, and great racing all around with everyone. So, it was a ton of fun. Thanks to Porsche iRacing and everyone for inviting me again, and Tag Heuer for I guess the invite as well, and all they do for sim racing with the main series too. So yeah, just thankful to be a part of it. Had a lot of fun, and yeah, enjoyed.
What a season it's been with the All-Stars, Paul, but now it's time to crown our champion in the Porsche eSports Supercup.
Yeah, as we close out this Buzz post-race show, let's take a look back to what happened last time at the Circuit de la Sarthe.
Germany to France, and we land at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Opened back in 1909, and it's been the test for endurance racing machine.
And we have green flag racing here at Le Mans.
Sanchez on the outside, might get a push from Job, who elects to take it 3 wide.
And that's Charlie Collins just getting a little bit loose, did Collins on the inside there. Pinto trying to get to the head of the field with Sebastian Job alongside him. Side by side through the Porsche curves. You normally can't do this, but great respectful driving between the two of them. He takes the race win here in the sprint race of the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup. We are green flag racing here at Le Mans for one, and we've got carnage, and it's Bryn Collins has been turned, and then
With the top though, we look on board with Charlie Collins.
Job's running wide there. He's made a mistake as Job. He's dropping back here. Oh, that was a big contact between Half and Collins. Half to the outside, headed in towards Indianapolis. We're 3 wide. Carusov's dropping down. Carusov's dropping down the order on the timing screen. What on earth has happened to our championship leader? And he's out. The Frenchman, it's his first ever win here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup.
$2,800 drivers have started their journey to the top. In 4 years, 3 names have made it there.
Porsche eSports Supercup champion Joshua Rogers.
Sebastian Job is the world champion.
By a 2-time champion, Joshua Rogers coming across the line, Diogo Pinto from Portugal.
This year, one name was almost certain to join them.
I mean, that's all the series is about, really. Like, you need to qualify well, you need to be in those positions and capitalize, take risks sort of when you need to.
First of our Tag Heuer Pole Award winners.
For his second pole position here, and your sprint race winner here, Jordan Caruso, a huge sigh of relief for him. He's the winner.
We know just how tumultuous a season it has been for everyone barring Jordan Caruso, who seems to be impervious.
Until it all went wrong.
Caruso's dropping down! Caruso's dropping down the order on the timing screen! What on earth has happened to our championship leader? And he's out! He is out of this race!
Now, 3 drivers have a chance to steal the spotlight.
Pretty thankful for the team, for the support, and to start force. Machine for the ride, you know? Whatever happens now happens.
I think I was pretty fortunate today, to be honest. It's just a big relief more than anything. I have some massive work to do.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm just going to try and survive. And if we can do anything, I think it'll be super tough. So we'll find out.
This is virtual racing with real stakes. This is fine lines, milliseconds, and $200,000. This is insane. But that's what keeps us coming back for more. This is the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup by iRacing. And the finale starts now.
the championship finale, and what a venue to take yourselves to. The traditional championship finale here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup. It is Monza in Italy, and what a decider it is going to be. Paul Smith and Arjuna Kankipati here in commentary, and we are straight away into qualifying here, Arjuna. Qualifying Group A is out there. It's the same as we've been having all the way through the season. Those from 30th to 6th, they go out first in the championship, and then Group B go out one at a time.
Right now, we don't have to worry really about the championship battle. Those drivers go out one by one at the very end of qualifying. What can we talk about maybe a little bit right now? The drivers that are trying to at least somewhat secure eligibility for 2024 and for the return of the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup. Let's not forget, Paul, how much of a slog the road to the World Championship is, and the drivers that are on the bubble will want to try and avoid that.
Yeah, you can see the top four then. They're the ones that are championship contenders. They'll be highlighted in green. Those purple highlighted drivers, Collins, Pinto, Bika and Half, they are eligible for 2024. Everybody else here on this page of the points, it's still open to whether they get into next year. But look at that. There are 4 drivers who do not qualify for next season.
And I think the important thing to note is with those 4 drivers missing out, what part do they play in the championship? A couple of them I know for a fact are going to be missing in action. A couple of the drivers inside of the top 15 missing in action today. It gives opportunity for some of these drivers in qualifying to set the benchmark right now for what is going to be one of the most hectic championship finales that we've had, not just at the top, but for those top 15 drivers as well.
Well, the drivers are now starting to set themselves their lap times in Group B. Group A, should I say, sorry. Group B will be coming out very shortly. But right now, you've got Bobby Zelensky trying everything that he can to get any sort of advantage on his tyre warm-up at the start of his lap. Some of these rookies that we've seen this season, they've had real sort of hot and cold moments. We've seen some spectacular drives, but then the rest of the season has been a bit of a slog for them. Someone like Oscar Rinne, he is one that has really shone. He really shone at the Nürburgring. The rest of the season, it's all been there or thereabout, just going in and out of the points as you see those green highlights in our timing tower for our championship contenders.
Scary had that second at Spa as well, which leaves him on the right side of the cut line right now, but you're right. It's been a difficult season, and we've talked about second season syndrome as well for some of the rookies. This reality that first season's a struggle, even if you've succeeded on the road to the World Championship in the Contender Series. This is a different ball game. It's a different level of performance that you're expected to be at every single week. Alessandro Bico, an example that after being involved in some of the rough and tumble in the mid-pack in 2022, has really showcased his speed here in 2023, really up towards the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving himself a couple of wins here in this championship. And well, as we are going through across the line, the first times will be coming in round about now. And it is Thomas Tetela who will be the first one to set a time. Kevin Nielsen as well with a time. Oscar Rinne at the top of your standings right now. Change that because Moreno Sarica, now Alessandro Bico, his teammate, go up there. Johan Half, second place, his first ever win last time out at the Circuit de la Sarthe. And Pinto, Diogo Pinto, our outgoing champion, the 2022 champion, he's not been able to defend his championship. He's currently provisionally on pole position right now.
Look at those margins though. For a track like Monza where you'd expect the field to be split by maybe smaller margins, Pinto, Bico and Hearth relatively clear from the field. Here's someone as well that maybe would have expected a little bit more from as now Group B qualifying starts, 5th in the championship, not where we thought Charlie Collins would be.
Yeah, I think Charlie would have had his sights set on going for a championship, you know, to try and focus on that, and he's just not been able to pull it off this season. You know, don't forget that Charlie did get a win earlier on this season at Manicourt, so he does know what it's like in the winner's circle. But it's been it's been quite a mixed season for him, hasn't it, out there? And he has struggled at times as the young man from Wales, but certainly he's trying to get himself pole position right now.
Slightly different look for RS Coanda squad at the end of the day compared to when the Super Cup first started, given that so many of those drivers now compete under the Porsche Coanda banner. And so Dane Warren, the most recent of the Exodus, but Mitchell de Jong, Josh Rogers, those are experienced drivers. Now we've got Zach Campbell as well as Charlie Collins, effectively the leaders in this effort in the Super Cup. But while we watch them in qualifying, I think we are, Paul, about to be joined by Diogo Pinto, who has provisional pole position, at least for the time being. Diogo, chatting with us right now in that Team Redline #1 machine. Final round of the season. How much more time was there in qualifying? How confident do you feel about staying at #1?
To be honest, I don't feel too confident. The lap wasn't great. I think maybe some drivers might be able to do a mid-7, which could be quite doable. But yeah, I mean, pretty much it was a clean lap. Small mistake in the first chicane, but otherwise it's quite alright. I was aiming for a mid-high 0.8, a safe lap, and that's what I got.
We'll see Charlie Collins cross the line and slot himself only up into 8th, so you are good for the time being. We check in with Alejandro Sanchez. Reminder, green banner means someone still in play for the championship. Diogo, unfortunately, no green banner on your car as the defending champion. Go through the season in your perspective, still with one race to go. Not being the easiest one by any means.
Yeah, I would say some lucky moments I had last season, I got the other way around this year. I got taken out twice in a very good position, both in Long Beach and Watkins Glen, and had an hardware failure at Spa, and then also in that Spa race I did not a great performance, so I picked up some penalty points there, and well, pretty much those 3 instances where I lost the fight for the championship. But yeah, I mean, I'll say on a personal level, when I was there, I drove better than last year. It's just some moments where I got crashed out, and unfortunately the hardware failure at Spa cost me over 100 points, and that's the gap that I have to P1.
Alejandro Sanchez is just going to come across the line here to see what he can set lap time wise. Can he topple Pinto off of the top of the standings? The answer is no. 10th place for Sanchez right there. I mean, Diogo, is there a change in the conditions for the drivers out there that are coming in the second group? Is it more difficult coming in that Group B?
I would say since I've dropped back to the second group, I've been stronger in qualifying. I got pole last round at Le Mans, and looks like I'm on the way to a good position here. It's just maybe when you don't have any references from the other drivers, you just do your own thing, and it's better for you. Obviously the conditions change a little bit, so I think it's half a degree up already, but I mean that's maybe not even half a tenth or quarter of a tenth, so it shouldn't be that way where you lose time.
Well, we're just going to see Sebastian Job now coming across the line. Can he set a pole position? He's 3rd place in the championship coming into this round. And what is his lap time? It's 12th place for Sebastian. It's really close, are these times, Arjuna?
The important thing here as well is the fact that these are not points that are getting factored into the championship. Let's remind everyone, 10 points goes to pole position, 8 for second, 6 points for third, fourth for 4 points, fourth gets 4 points, fifth gets 2 points. These are all points that are now deprived from Sanchez, which means that he is 2 points away from Caruso knocking Sanchez out in the championship mix.
Yeah, that's important to keep an eye on. We'll keep Diogo here just for the time being. Thank you for staying with us, as Zach Campbell now is going to be the next one to come through Curva Alboreto and get to that finish line. What is his time going to be? Across the line he goes, and he will set himself no time. He invalidated his lap time. That is huge. He's 24th, and Zach Campbell is the closest one to this man on screen right now.
I'm pretty sure that was a off track through the parabolic. Diogo, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go and focus on the race that's coming up ahead. But you could see, Paul, the disappointment on Zach Campbell's face as he worked out of that final corner. It was also confusion. It was like, I thought I did everything right. What happened there? How did I go off the track?
Well, he is one of 5 drivers who have not set a lap time here today. So Jordan Caruso, I'll tell you what, if he gets pole position, not only will he get himself 10 points to his championship total, he'll also get himself a Tag Heuer connected watch and knock out one of his championship rivals all in one go. That's not a bad start to your day if you're Jordan Caruso.
5th is enough for Sanchez to be knocked out of the championship mix here.
As we go across the line then, what is Caruso's time going to be? Get to that timing line of 47.977. That puts him in 4th place. So Sanchez is out of the championship race here. Caruso is 4th in qualifying, but he is the best of those championship competitors out there in this one. Not only that, Alejandro Sanchez, though, with Caruso not getting pole position there, does get himself a Tag Heuer connected watch, getting the Tag Heuer pole position award.
It's back-to-back pole positions for Diogo Pinto, yes, but like you said, Alejandro Sanchez has been the most consistent man in terms of being at the top of the qualifying standings, and so yes, Alejandro Sanchez out of championship contention will walk away as the winner of the Tag Heuer qualifying award. As confirmation of Diogo Pinto, our pole award for today. We'll get those numbers of pole positions up on screen as well, but I'm starting to feel the tension in the air, and I could only imagine what for the drivers it's feeling like right now. Sanchez knows that he can just go and push now in this final race. A very different case for the likes of Caruso, Campbell, and Job.
There you see it. Sanchez then with the most pole positions this season. Caruso and Pinto sharing 2 pole positions each, with Campbell, Job and Biko all with 1 pole position each. And Arjuna, you've got our pole position award winner.
Alejandro Sanchez with 3 pole positions this season walks away with the Porsche Tag Heuer connected watch. Alejandro, pressure's always hard in qualifying with the 1 lap to get the performance done. Talk us through what has been able to get you able to do that.
This particular one, the track temp kept going up, so I was like already at a bit of a disadvantage. I made a bit of a mistake in my lap, but overall during the season, very happy with my qualifying performance and happy to get such a prize. Even if I can win the championship, at least I walk away with a watch, so happy with that. Anything that happens now is an extra.
You brought up the disappointment, you still got a smile on your face. Best of luck for this final round of the championship, Paul, as qualifying's in the book. We've now just got racing left to go.
We have indeed, so let's take you through your starting grid then. It is the Portuguese driver of Diogo Pinto sharing the front row with Alessandro Biko on home turf in Italy. Johan Harth and Jordan Caruso, championship leader, on row number 2. Salva Talens and Moreno Sarica, row number 3. 4th row of the grid for Oscar Mangan and Lasse back, with Charlie Collins and Oscar Rinne, then Alejandro Sanchez and Quentin Violate, row number 6. 7th row for Sebastian Job, alongside him Gustavo Ariel, Julian Sonin and Kevin Nielsen on row number 8, with Bobby Zelensky and Cooper Webster on row number 9. 10th row of the grid is Jamie Fluke and Matthias Stuckbeck, and then those drivers who did not score a time in qualifying: Luca Kita, Thomas Tetteler, Sam Koiter, Zach Campbell and Bryn Collins, all starting from the back of the grid. Got half a minute to the start of this one. If you're Jordan Caruso right now, you must be feeling a little bit more confident being ahead of this one, but my goodness, this is going to be a tense championship finale. We saw how one mistake, one little incident can cause a big change in the championship last time out at Circuit de la Sarthe. Well, we have got it to look forward to today, so never write off a championship until we see that final checkered flag. Drivers though, getting themselves prepared, looking towards the starter's gantry. Revs rise! We're green flag racing here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup at Monza, the championship finale sprint race, down towards the Rettifilio for the first time, and it's Biko who's got the better launch over Diogo Pinto into that first chicane, 2-3 wide further back in your field as well, as they sort themselves out through there. Caruso's just got a nose ahead of Half coming out of the Rettifilio, heading into the Curva Grande, and Pinto better launch out to the Rettifilio. That gets him back to the front of your field. Caruso's just showing his nose still, heading into the Della Roggia chicane. But so far, so good out there for the drivers as you see them launching over that chicane.
Caruso knows that if it finishes as it is, which is unlikely with Sebastian Job looking to charge his way through the field, the championship would be likely secured, because it is 50 points to win the main race. 50 points is the margin Caruso wants to put between him and the rest of the chasing pack. He's got Zach Campbell down the back, who has already tumbled off the track once in qualifying, does it again in the race.
Oh, it's not the championship decider that Zach Campbell would have wanted, although when we spoke to Zach Campbell earlier in the championship, he'd pretty much written off his championship after Long Beach. So incredible to see that he was still involved in this one all the way through to the end. But down the back straight for the first time out the Ascara chicane, there is Sebastian Job right now, 14th place. He's got Alejandro Sanchez in front of him. Behind Kevin Nielsen, almost pushing him down. Biko's dropping down the order. Biko is down the order. And well, all of a sudden, we've got drama here at the end of the opening lap, and potentially it involves our championship leader. Let's have a look, Arjuna.
Yeah, let's take a look at this moment as Caruso still trying to get past Hart in that fight for second. Check first in with what happened, I think, to young Zach Campbell in that VRS Coanda car through that second chicane. Just got a bit of a shove there from one of your red line machines, I believe. So must have been Diogo Pinto, I guess, down. Not Diogo Pinto, excuse me. So one of the other cars down towards the back. But for Jordan Caruso, this is what I was trying to say earlier. 50 points is the margin he wants at the end of this race. However, race control interventions at the end might become a factor. Let's not forget Caruso's already had 10 penalty points this season.
Yeah, he certainly has. Here's a look then at what happened to Biko then, down into the final corner at the Parabolica. Oh, Caruso just getting into the back of him there. Oh, he's going to be concerned. He is going to be concerned about that one, is Jordan. He can't think about that right now. What he needs to do is just get the best score that he can possibly get to try and offset any potential penalty that may happen later on down the line.
Now we can also just keep an eye out for Sebastian Job and see how far forward he charges. The one thing that I think will also concern Jordan Caruso is the fact that if Job gets to 8th, he will restart the second race at the front of the field. Here's a look at what happened on board with Caruso just deep into the corner, and poor Alessandro Biko had nowhere to go.
And generally in motorsport, it's usually, if there's front to rear contact, it's usually on the car behind making that contact. So, oh dear, it's going to be a little bit of a sleepless night, although half the time Jordan looks that relaxed that he almost looks asleep.
I thought for a moment Diogo Pinto was heading off towards pit lane. That was controversy from last weekend, I thought. That was in the real world, not the virtual.
As we go into that first chicane once again. So Sebastian Job, he has got a target now. He's got to keep on moving forward from 13th because he needs to get within, not just 250 points, but within 50 points of Jordan Caruso to keep his championship hopes alive. As you said earlier, Arjuna, a win is 50 points in this championship.
And so I think if I've done the math correctly, Sebastian Job needs to go from 13th, where he will score 8 points in this sprint race, up to 6th position, where he will score 15 points. That's a lot of work and a lot of positions to work your way forward, approaching the halfway point of this race.
Yeah, that's another thing that's going against him as well. Time is running out. You can see him making adjustments as well on the old button box there, just trying to get the car to behave as best as he can. What he needs is a little bit of intervention on Jordan Caruso right now, does Sebastian Job. That's really his big hope here, because if Caruso did end up finishing 21st or lower, then he wouldn't score any points, and I think that's what Sebastian needs to hope happens here at this point, just to give him any chance of the championship. Right now, Caruso is doing all that he needs to do. 3rd place, he doesn't need to win these races, but it'd be nice for him to win a race.
He looks as calm as he ever has, right? And he's, I think, now thinking ahead and trying to determine who he can work with. Oscar Mang and his teammate is dropping backwards tonight. And so with a couple of these Stormforce Racing Apex cars able to maybe coordinate, Johan Harth is going to search for the lead. What does Caruso do with Salva Talons behind? And Pinto running in to Johan Harth. Jordan Caruso takes the point and now tries to run away.
Job is up to 10th place now, but it's 59 points is that gap because of Caruso getting to the head of the field. Oh my goodness, drama seems to be surrounding Caruso right now. He's had that contact with Bika earlier on, and then you've got those two making contact right in front of him. His heart must have jumped into his throat.
Great for Caruso, even now harder for Job. Job will have to get to third to keep his championship hopes alive. Let's take a look at what happened though into turn one. Harth tried to go for the lead, got a shove from Caruso, and then as Pinto tried to get to the inside of the corner as well, Chaos RAG car goes around as well. Pick apart that as you will. Race control is going to be busy at the conclusion of this race.
Yeah, do remember that all results are provisional here today. Yes, we may call a champion across a line, but they are provisional until all results are finalised by race control. It's Caruso from Talons, from Sarika. What a day this would be for Salva Talons if he ends up getting to the front. He's only ever been on the podium twice in this championship. His best result this season is 6th at Nürburgring and Le Mans for Salva, so this is a great opportunity for him to get another podium and potentially even a race win, although he's trying to break the draft from Moreno Sarika. There you see Sebastian Job, 10th place right now. And this is the thing that I'm seeing right now, Arjuna. He's not really moving forward at all, is he?
Not for the time being, but I just wonder if it's more difficult to pass further back in line than we will make it seem. Given how trimmed out these cars are, they don't perform the greatest through the corner, and while in the All-Star race we saw plenty of passing, it was also because we saw plenty of mistakes that set up opportunities. At this level, maybe fewer mistakes, fewer opportunities. It takes more to get a move done.
Yeah, with how close these drivers are in terms of ability, in terms of lap time, half the time you have to force a mistake out of your rival to try and get anywhere. Well, Salva Talons is under pressure right now from Charlie Collins behind him. Jordan Caruso has pulled out a 1 second lead right now. Caruso, if he breaks that draft at the front, he can take a race win here in the sprint race today. Drivers moving forward though. Oscar Irine is moving forward to 6th place. Gustavo Ariel into 8th place as well in this race. He's currently in that provisional pole position for race number 2, the main race here in this evening. But my goodness, what drama there has been all the way through today so far. But let's take you for a little bit of the sights and sounds of this championship as we take you for a buzz full throttle. Well, that is your buzz full throttle for you in this sprint race. Sebastian Job still in 10th place. He needs, as Arjuna pointed out, he needs 3rd place in this race if Jordan Caruso is going to win. Caruso is still about a second ahead of Salva Talons. we're on the penultimate lap right now, Arjuna. Time is running out for Sebastian Job.
Time is winding down, but in the chaos grenade that was thrown out at Monza today, there's so much in the air in the championship that this top 8 invert's not going to keep Job out of touch if he's able to keep himself into 8th position, provisionally, of course, deciding on what the stewards will end up saying. Caruso can only do one thing, regardless of what's happened in this race, and that's get as many points on the board as he can, and he's going to be aided by the fact that on this final lap of the race, Charlie Collins is trying to fight for second and slowing down Salva Talons.
Yeah, 2 wide down towards the Rettifilio for the final time here in the sprint race. Round the outside, gives you the inside for the second part, chops the nose off of Salva Talons. That allows Caruso to pull away that bit more. Collins trying to break the draft of Salva Talons. This is for a podium position here. Talons, as I said, he's on for his best result of the season here. If he finishes in the top 5, he's in for his best position in this season. Through the De La Rocha, not the best from Collins, but Talon's not able to take advantage of that, Arjuna. But yeah, these opportunities are running out.
Don't forget Moreno Sorica was in a great spot at the Nordschleife until he got taken out by Alejandro Sanchez, missing his braking zone. An incident that took Sebastian Job out as well into turn 1. This is Sorica's opportunity to get a podium as well. We're talking about, you know, top 15 championship fights. There's bragging rights as well. Momentum that these drivers want to pick up to close the season out.
Don't forget, Sebastian Job needed that gap to be under 50 points to be able to keep himself in the championship hunt. They're heading down the back straightaway right now, and it's it's Jordan Caruso from Australia at the front of your field right now. He's heading into the curve at Alboreto for the final time here in this sprint race. He's waited quite a while to get himself a race win. Not got one since Spa-Francorchamps, but across the line, Jordan Caruso. He is provisionally your 2023 Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup champion.
For the first time, a smile on his face as well, Paul. With the racing not done and dusted, you know what that meant to Jordan. Tough race for him, but he sticks up front and gets the checkered flag.
We say provisionally because, of course, these are provisional race results until everything is finalised. But Jordan Caruso, 1.6 seconds between him and Charlie Collins in the end, with Moreno Sorica third place. Salva Talons fourth ahead of Lasse Bach, Oscar Irine and Oscar Mangan rounding out the top 7. Gustavo Ariel in 8th place gets himself pole position for the main race ahead of Alejandro Sanchez and Sebastian Job. Kevin Nielsen ahead of Diogo Pinto with Cooper Webster, Matthias Stuckbeck, Jamie Fluke in 15th gets himself a single point, gets himself into the points this race. Bobby Zelensky, Johan Harp, Luca Kita, Quentin Violate and the single point for 20th place for Alessandro Bico in this sprint race. Those outside of the top 20, they do not score anything at all. That's Sonnen, Campbell, Zach Campbell, I mean, how a day has turned for him. Tetela, Keitert and Bryn Collins round out your 25-car field. But Arjuna, I said it, provisionally champion because there is a bit of controversy in this this opening race of the day.
I really want to take a look at some of those replays and angles from the moment that saw Caruso take the lead at the expense of Johan Hart and Diogo Pinto, because I'm very curious as to how that played out. I don't think we're done and dusted. I think there's still all to play for in the case of Sebastian Job, just trying to work his way forward and grab some more points. It's going to be difficult, yes, because Caruso is going to be just in front of him, but it's all to play for in this final race of the season.
It certainly is, but that's not to take away the season that Jordan has had at all. You know, one race doesn't make a season. He has had a tremendous season, and he would be a deserving champion, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's certainly been an intriguing round so far in this one. And the thing is, we're getting enough a race to commentate on because the main race is coming up shortly, and that one, 14 laps, double the fun.
Really looking forward to the extended length as well to see how the drivers fare with tires. Let's go back though to that sprint race and take a look at the pivotal moment, see what we can glean from a couple more different angles as Pinto and Hearth ended up in the gravel. Caruso scampers through to lead. First, let's take a look at this TV angle. And so you'll see Caruso has pressure from his outside from not behind. He dives into the corner. I think he gives both Hearth and Pinto a shove looking from the TV angle. But it's always clearest when you take it from an onboard. And so let's first look from Sal Vitalin's perspective because he'll have a great view, Paul.
He certainly will. I mean, this is the best cameraman that we could have right here. Gets a nice overview of it. So let's have a look into the Rettifilia. And Caruso, well, that isn't the instant. It'll be after that one. But we'll take a look at that in a second. Here is Jordan Caruso's point of view, Arjuna.
Yes, and so I thought for a moment it looked a little bit too calm heading off it towards turn number 1, but regardless, here we go. This is the one where we'll see how tight he pinches himself on entry, trying to protect from Talons. There's contact with Hearth, there's contact with Pinto. I mean, Jordan Caruso's heading to the steward's office at the end of the race. The question's going to be, what does the principal think about that moment?
Well, what do you all think about that at home as well? Because that was one of the big talking points of that race. Let's not forget also the incident between himself and Alessandro Bica. I mean, for me, that one in particular would be a slam dunk going into the Parabolica. Don't forget to keep up to date with everything and check out those final championship standings when they are finalized. Head on over to the iRacing website, iracing.com/PESC, to keep up to date with everything and to see just those confirmed championship standings at the end of the season, to see how that affects things here today. And whilst you're on the iRacing website, if you aren't already a member and you're thinking, oh, I fancy a piece of this action, well, why not sign up as well? There's 40% off of all new memberships on iRacing. iRacing.com, and start your iRacing career, because of course every day on iRacing is a race day. And Arjuna, I said it just a few moments ago, we've got a race double the length of that sprint race. I mean, what on earth could happen in this one?
And I think now Jordan's going to be recognizing the fact that there's a couple of different things that he is going to have to potentially take a points penalty for. So he's going to be very much in that mindset of points consolidation and trying to ensure that he's got as large a gap to Sebastian Job as possible. But we're heading off into turn number 1 on lap number 1 at Monza. I'm quite surprised that we've had relatively little chaos so far, but it's not just at the front where, of course, we are so excited, but top 15 is where there is plenty of focus to keep our eyes on. Lasse back, Jamie Fluke just inside of that bubble. Gustavo Ariel starts from the front, though, of the main race. He's got a great opportunity to get back into the top 15.
And the one big name that is missing today, Max Beneke, will not automatically be eligible for next year. That is huge. Here is one of those ever presidents in this championship. But let's take you through your starting grid for the final time here in 2023. It's Gustavo Ariel on the front row of the grid with Oscar Mangan, Oscar Irine and Lasse Bach on row number 2. Row 3 for Salva Talons and Marina Sarica. Fourth row for Charlie Collins and Jordan Caruso with Alejandro Sanchez and Sebastian Job. Kevin Nielsen and Diogo Pinto on row number 6. Seventh row for Cooper Webster and Matthias Stuckbeck with Jamie Fluke and Bobby Zelensky. Johan Hearth and Luca Kita round out row number 9. 10th row of the grid for Quentin Violate and Alessandro Bica with Julian Sonin, Zach Campbell, Thomas Tetela, Sam Keiter rounding up row number 12. And row number 13, all on his own there, is Bryn Collins. Well, we are all set for the final race of the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup. The revs are rising. Green flag in the air, and we are underway for 14 laps of racing here. Down towards turn number 1, Oscar Mangan getting a good start, a good launch from that front row into the Rettifilia for the first time. 2 by 2 all the way through. And it's a great comeback from Ariel to get back to the front of your field. Mangan in second place ahead of Talons, Bakke, and then Rinne Sarika, Charlie Collins and Jordan Caruso staying in 8th place. Quentin Violate's dropped all the way down to the back of the field. He's had issues out there at the start of this race, but Mangan's trying to go around the outside of the De La Rocha. That's not traditionally a way through there. Oscar Mangan, he's looking for a good result here today. The Altus eSports driver, best result, 5th place at Manicourt.
I think he was just trying to carry that momentum into turn 1 safely. Wasn't sure where to take it. Matthias Stuckbeck has been off the road. Not the only car to be embroiled in some dramas, but for the most part, we survive another opening lap here at Monza, which is a surprise to say. Caruso slides backwards. Job has gone forwards to 8th, which is, again, just keeping those championship hopes alive, even though provisionally, yes, Caruso has locked up that championship. What is Joe's mindset going to be in this race, though? How aggressive is he going to be? How much tire does he leave himself for those closing stages?
I think Job just drives and drives for a win. I think he just wants to get himself the best result that he could possibly get in this final race of the season. Caruso's got himself into a nice bubble. Who isn't in a nice bubble is Jamie Fluke, right in the middle there. Bobby Zelensky, Johan Half around him. Cooper Webster's there. There's also Pinto as well involved in this battle. This is for 11th through down the field, and don't forget, relegation is a big possibility here for a few of these drivers, and at the moment, with the position that he's in, Jamie Fluke is dropping out. Oscar Mangan's jumping up ahead of him, but not automatically eligible. But Benneker, because he's not here, down to 18th. Gustavo Ariel is liking things right now at the front.
We talked to Benneker a few weeks ago, and he said it's been a really difficult year for him, juggling priorities across the sim racing world, and so it's going to be a shame to see him have to rise his way up through the World Championship ranks once again if he's going to want to be a part of our series for 2024, but we know just how quick he can be if he has the ability to put his full focus forward. Jamie Fluke, someone that has had a difficult year splitting those priorities of his own, but now with his full focus, at least on this competition, Jamie's been having a bit of a tough time personally, and so our thoughts are with Jamie, but 14th position right now, he knows that potentially climbing up into the top 10 would be enough to get him closer to that bubble.
Yeah, certainly he'll be looking to move his way forward. Let's have a look at what's happened earlier in this race, and there you see it stuck back, heading off into the gravel, into the wall, out of the race at Lesmo 1. So Matthias Stuckback, been a difficult rookie year for him, and well, 10th place at Long Beach and Le Mans, best results for him this season. But well, the Fire Sim Sport driver, I'm sure he'll be looking to come back at some point here in this one. There's those live points. That is the relegation zone. You see that yellow line? That's the cut-off. 15th place is where these drivers want to be inside of. The ones outside, they want to move forward, as we're on board with Oscar Mangan up at the front here.
And so I think the two names which really strike me looking at the big list that we've got on the right side are these two at the front, Ariel and Mangan, because if they drop from the very front, they are the ones that will be impacted the most. Yes, Lasse Bacchus sat in 4th, but relatively, he's already 13 points off of what Ariel will get out of this race, as that's a big block to the inside by the Brazilian. Not content to have just one race victory this season. Oscar Mangan slides back into line, but for a moment, you thought he was trying to get to the lead.
He certainly was trying to get to the lead, but right now, for me, if I were Oscar, I'd just be happy to sit behind and try and work together with Gustavo to try and pull away at the front. The problem that Oscar has, that he's got right behind him, Salva Talons, Lasse Bach, Oscar Irine, they're all together with him as well. They're getting dragged along with the front too, so things are never going to be quiet for those two at the front. And so therefore they'll be trying to secure themselves the best possible result with Ariel and Mangan. Of course, Gustavo Ariel, really good debut season, getting a couple of wins, of course. Don't forget, at the Red Bull Ring, he got his first ever win in that crazy race, it must be said. And then followed that up the following week, the following round of the championship at Watkins Glen in the sprint race as well. So he found a little bit of form mid-season, but then he's fallen back again.
wants to avoid having to go back through the World Championship ladder, though, to be able to make the most use of second season syndrome. I'm going to be really interested to see how some of these rookies get on with another couple of months of development. Oscar Mangan, though, fighting for his spot in the Super Cup. See Salvatalen slide his way on through, at least for the moment. If Lasse back gives a bit of a shove to the back of that Altus eSports car, might be a chance for the 99 to get back in front into that second chicane. And these are those moments where it's not just about technical ability, Paul, but racecraft that becomes so important at this level of motorsport.
Yeah, knowing where to position your car, knowing exactly how much space you need to give each other out there. Mangan gets the better run, and Lasse back says, thank you very much. I'll take advantage of that and get the move done on Salvatalen. So it shows how an attack can suddenly go to defense and you're on the back foot. And Salvatalen now is looking in his mirrors at Ascari Rinne, the driver, the only driver from BS competition, the young Finn, trying his best to get another good result here. He's in that top 15 as things stand right now in those live points on the right-hand side of your screen.
And if you're thinking that, oh, if you're outside of the bubble, there's nothing to play for, well, all 20 positions, all 20 of the top 10, 20 positions in the championship pay out prize money, so they're all fighting for something, even if those outside the top 15 do have to go back to the Contender Series. Look at the difference, though. Oscar Mangan up in second, Luca Kita down in 17th. One inside, one outside. Kita, though, looking a little bit nervous.
Mangan actually getting moved back because Lasse back has made the move. The Fire SimSport driver moving forward. Another one of those rookies. It seems to be a bit of a rookie's day up here at the front of your field right now at Monza. Work together to try and catch the Gustavo Ariel because he has waltzed away at the front. But Oscar Mangan bump drafting down the start and finish straight. Not able to make any moves for the time being as Salvatalens is trying to work his way with Oscar Rinne.
I think that Oscar Mangan is trying to get this gaggle for second on back to work together and not let Gustavo Ariel pull away. You saw him trying to break a little bit early into that first chicane, but doesn't help when you've still got Oscar Rinne and Salvatalen side by side into the second chicane. And it's back between the two of them. Talons goes very wide. Rinne just about slows down in the nick of time, but Salvatalen's almost slows to a crawl and now has to shed the slowdown as they filter back into line.
That was a rude hip check and a bump and a barge, and thank you very much. And they ended up both going off. They disadvantaged each other. Lasse back and Oscar Mangan will be delighted about that, just to give them a little bit of a gap between themselves and Charlie Collins. It's worth pointing out, by the way, Sam Keiter has got a black flag, I can see, so he's got to serve a penalty at some point here in this race. He's down in 18th, so not being... And Sebastian Job has got the mechanical warning flag. It's a meatball flag. He's going to be out of this race because you have to serve that within 3 laps. And there's more than 3 laps remaining in this race.
Now, did that happen at that second chicane where we saw Salvatalens and company go off? Where did it all go wrong for Sebastian Job, who can't even get down to the pit lane entry right now because there's a Urano GT3 Cup car blocking the path? What does this mean? Well, no matter what happens in the race controls booth after this race, you'd have to think Jordan Caruso has enough of a points lead that it is all secure at this point.
That's his day done. That is it. Park the car, switch it off. Time to head home, Sebastian. And you can see that look of dejection from Sebastian there. It has not been an easy season for anybody trying to catch Jordan Caruso. And wow, that is huge here today. Big implications for the championship. Jordan Caruso in 9th place is scoring himself some good points. We've still got battling going on though here. Through the De La Roja, Bobby Zelensky's just dropping back, and it was the number 3, Kevin Nielsen, trying to move forward in that Fire SimSport car, and the Urano car is making his way through. That's Luca Kita.
So still in that top 15 discussion, Luca Kita has enough of a separation, you'd have to think, and with Gustavo Ariel's lead being closed on down, he's going to be slightly worried about maybe seeing the same fate as what Sebastian Job has had, where he's sitting in had to come down to pit lane, although Sebastian Job is headed back out there with a true championship mindset, Paul, not content to just sit and watch the season fall away from him. Sebastian Job's going to cross the checkered flag to close out 2023.
So it must have been just the smallest of damage then that he's been able to fix. So, yeah, it was definitely intriguing to see. But, yeah, down in 24th. We've got one retirement in this race, which is Matthias Stuckbeck. Rest of them still out there. But, Sebastian, you could, as I say, that look of dejection, he knew how hard that was. And, of course, the second place is still to fight for in the championship here. Yeah, this isn't over yet in terms of the second place for those drivers as well. So they're fighting for some big prize money up there at the top of the standings as well. And that is, I think, why Sebastian looked so disappointed.
And so Zach Campbell has to find, I think it's 2 points, because he does have the tiebreaker, I think, on Sebastian Job. And so with Campbell sitting down in 19th position, if he can find his way up 2 spots, which means finding a route past Tumas Tatala and Alessandro Bico, second would be his. Sebastian Job's only 4 seconds off the back of Sam Koiter, where he would be able to get an additional point to his name if he could find 23rd spot. Still plenty to play for second, like you said, Paul.
Alejandro Sanchez, it's worth pointing out as well, he's only 5 points off of Sebastian Job here as well. So that's the reason why Sebastian's gone back out on track. He knows that he just needs to score whatever he can and hope that some others go out of this race as well to score him some more points here. So again, big money on offer here.
Alejandro Sanchez gets 6th position. He steals 3rd in the championship away from Zach Campbell. If Alejandro Sanchez can go from 7th up to 5th position, he would get 2nd in points away. So keep your eyes on Alejandro Sanchez.
We thought that the race for 15th was going to be most interesting here at this point. It's that race for 2nd place now that is really on. 5 points separating 3 drivers, as we've been saying, but it is Gustavo Ariel at the front of the field ahead of Lasse Bach. Only 0.2 of a second between the two of them. There's Sebastian Job's car looking distinctly second hand. It's that front left corner that is causing him the big problems.
And it happened in through turn number 1, I do believe, just before what happened with Salva Talons and company. So separate and unrelated to that moment at that second chicane. But an unfortunate end for Sebastian, and kind of sums up, I think, what the season has been like for him in so many ways. That steering wheel, definitely not aligned in a straight line.
Yeah, that is pulling one direction, which, when you're going down the straights here, is not going to be pleasant. If it can turn right, it's not too bad. It's when you turn left that's going to be the issue for you. But fortunately, not that many left turns around this venue. But yeah, Sebastian, he is just doing whatever he can to get his car and drag it to the end of this one. And 1 point separating now Zach Campbell and Sebastian Job, because Campbell has made up a place up into 18th.
Is this some team games, though, for Coans to get their ducks in order, knowing how close it is? Zach Campbell, probably not the kind of driver that's going to ask for it, but it's not an insignificant jump in the prize money for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Back up front, though, Gustavo Ariel has been chased down for the lead, and now that gap that he's got in the top 15, surely under pressure.
Well, don't forget that in this championship, teammates cannot just move over for their fellow teammate. If they do so, there is big penalties afforded to them. So they have to race. Now, do they make it difficult for Zach Campbell to make past? No, it doesn't. Bico's on pit road. Bico's on pit road. That's going to put Campbell up into 17th place. Bico's got a black flag.
Is that incident points from A, track limits, B, car contact? Regardless, Zach Campbell's now in a position where he's got the tiebreaker. One more position, he makes 2nd his own, and Sanchez has got kind of stuck in 8th spot and has been dropped by Pinto Rene on forward. It's looking good for Campbell to grab 2nd.
As you say, Campbell should get it on count back here in terms of the number of wins that he's had this season. but it's equal points between him and Sebastian Job right now. My goodness, this is a tremendous end. I mean, we kind of thought that Caruso would win the championship, but you never say never. But this battle for second place is huge, and this is going to go down to the very end. The problem that Campbell has got right now is he's got front left damage to his car. He will be struggling for top speed, which at a venue like this, you don't need top speed, do you? Oh wait, you do.
He does have Bryn Collins, though, to play his rear gunner here. I did go and just get verification. Bryn Collins got a slowdown. That's why he dropped to the back of the pack. So there's no sort of shenanigans that anyone can worry about there, just to clear anything up. Front of the fields, Lasse Bak hasn't got close enough to really get a look. You've got to wonder not what he is thinking about, Gustavo Ariel. It's what Oscar Magnan is thinking, because we saw on board with him a couple of laps ago that he was looking slightly dejected, slightly frustrated. What's he going to be thinking right now as we head on to another lap?
Well, let's take a look at what happened to Sebastian Job for him to get that damage that gave him the meatball flag into turn number 1. And then out of turn number 2, and there, that big impact with Sanchez. And that is what gave him that meatball flag, the black and orange flag. And that says, come on down to pit road, you have to take repairs.
And now there's another chance for Zach Campbell to just get another spot point and get clear of Sebastian Job in this fight for second in the championship, with Bobby Zelensky up the road from him, and then Tumas Tatula, and then a blast of clean air. No draft to help Campbell. He's got to be careful about how many positions he works on forward, but makes 16th his own, and now second goes the way of VRS Coanda and Zach Campbell.
Yeah, you see that on the left-hand side of your screen. Plus 1 point between Zach Campbell and Sebastian Job. Zach Campbell, I mean, his best result in the championship is 4th place last year. So getting a second place, that's moving him. It's improvement through the seasons, but I know he'll be disappointed with how this championship has gone this season, even if he does finish in second place.
Ducking and diving starting to build, though, and you said this with the All-Stars, that you wanted to be second heading on to the final lap of the race. We didn't really get the chance to see in the sprint race what would happen if we had a real fight drag race to the end. I think I get the sense that we are going to see that now. And again, just a reminder of how things sit on the top 15 discussion, where at number 16 of Luca Kita, 21 points to the good compared to Jamie Fluke. Gustavo Ariel, the one that's really going to be feeling nervous, though, as the challenge for the lead goes to the outside.
Certainly does. Into the Retafilio. Got to leave space there because Mangum was showing his nose, trying to get involved in that one with Lasse, but no move made between the two of them. Lasse Bak, of course, second place at Spa, so he knows what it's like to get on the podium. Could we have another debut winner in this season? It's been a season of number of winners that have never tasted the champagne. I mean, Jordan Caruso, Gustavo Ariel, Johan Haaf. You think it took 4 seasons for Johan Haaf to take the win, and that was last time out at Le Mans. But we've got 4 laps to go here. 3.5 out of the second of the Lesmos, plunging down towards the Ascari. And again, Gustavo Ariel trying his best to weave and trying to break the draft. You got to be careful with that, though, haven't you, Arjuna? Not to be overdoing that.
Different series and different drivers will have different opinions on how many times you can go back and forth, but you also are leaving yourself somewhat exposed if someone does get a good run out of some of these corners, looking rearwards from your race leader. Not such a great run for Lasse Bak. I will point out for Bak, for Rene, there are 2 drivers in particular that know that just staying where they are is going to get them top 15 spots and eligibility for next year. There's some other drivers that maybe will be a bit more aggressive. Will Bak and Rene decide that they don't want to be part of what's going to go on in these final 3 laps? Because, boy, you can tell Gustavo Ariel wants to lead. He's gone all the way to the wall.
Oh, you've got to be careful with that though, because there's a grass just comes up on the right-hand side there. It narrows down towards turn number 1, and again, looking to the outside back. And now Oscar Mangan's going to be under pressure because Charlie Collins is filling the void there on the inside. Diogo Pinto as well, making some moves. He's plus 7 places in this race, is Diogo Pinto. He's on a charge here at the end of the season. He's going to lose his championship at the end of this race, but what a champion he has been this season. Mangan to the inside of Lassie back. Oh, is that a slow down penalty for Mangan? He did cut a lot of the chicane there. Drops behind Charlie Collins, and here comes Pinto.
Just got a poor run, and now going to try and get back into line. Pinto will slide and clear the Irishman for 4th position, and now Altus drops back to 5th with Mangan. A couple more points that he'll shed in that crucial fight for that top 15. But did you know what Gustavo Ariel did through that first chicane last time by? He slid his way clear of Lassie Back. Yes, Back was aware of it, but that's the aggression that you'll see in these closing stages of the season, knowing that the next time they're fighting in the Porsche eSports Supercup will be in 2024 with potentially a fresh slate.
Yeah, absolutely. We could be seeing future champions on screen right now at the head of the field. Jamie Fluke is going to place over Jordan Caruso. Caruso, I think he's just cruising out there and trying to get himself just a good set of points and be comfortable going out of this round, because it was 80 points was the gap between him and Zach Campbell at the last time that we looked. But again, Ariel weaving down the straight, but Back has got to be careful of Charlie Collins. Collins has got to be careful with that, because Back could squeeze him. Thinks better of pushing Collins onto the grass there. That's sensible. Yeah, thank goodness Lassie Back took the sensible pill there. Oh, Collins gets held up a little bit then, but Pinto just can't take advantage. 2 to go, Arjuna.
So I was saying though, if Lassie Back gets involved in an incident and drops out of the points paying positions, he may not have such a solid lock on the top 15, and so I would be a little bit worried about some of these moves into the second chicane again. Charlie Collins up the inside, and Lassie Back will let him go, but more concerned about the run Diogo Pinto's going to try and get behind. These are those moments where there are going to be some giving rather than taking, all just in preparation to see the white flag.
Charlie Collins is 1.3 seconds back from Gustavo Ariel right now. Ariel just needs to keep it clean, and he's got a race win here in this race, because he's got a huge gap in the scheme of things here at Monza at the front of the field. It would be Ariel's 3rd race win of the season, 2nd main race win of the season for Gustavo, the rookie from Brazil. Charles Collins 2nd ahead of Pinto. There's your live points with that top 15. Fluke is missing out by 14 points. Fluke up to 8th place now, actually. He's been on a bit of a charge, and he's trying to get whatever points he possibly can into the end of this race. Look at that dive from Marino Sarica down the inside of Oscar Mangan. Oscar Irene and Jamie Fluke say, cheers, mate. I'll take that place. Thank you very much. And, well, it's getting a bit tasty in the bottom half of your top 10 here. They're all backpacked together, almost contact with Fluke and Marino Sarica down the start and finish straight for the final time now in the season. Lay it all on the table, put your cards down and show us what hand you've got, chaps, because this is your last opportunity.
And even within the drivers 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, there are thousands of dollars at play on this final lap of the race. Not just eligibility for 2024, but who walks away with the prize money. I tell you what, one thing that I'm pretty confident about, Gustavo Ariel has enough of a lead at the front that not only is he likely to see the checkered flag first and then secure his spot in the top 15 of the championship, I wonder if Lassie Back's going to hold on to 4th without much drama either, and if it's for 5th where we may see the drag race and potentially 2 or 3 wide.
Kaiser and Nielsen are out of the race. Sebastian Job has just got himself back into 2nd place in the championship here by running around at the back, getting that repair done. He's got himself back to 2nd place by 1 championship point right now. My goodness, this is going to be really, really tense towards the end here for Zach Campbell. Bobby Zelensky was the one who made the move, but we're heading down the back straightaway now. Gustavo Ariel, don't weave about. I think you've got enough of a lead here as they're heading into the final corner, the Curva Alboreto. And the young man from Brazil, it's his rookie season. What a season it has been. It has been hot and it's been cold, and there's the finger. Oh, look at him. He's so happy. Comes across the line. He's once again a race winner here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Super Cup. The rest of them coming through across the line. Collins, Charlie Collins and Diogo Pinto round out your podium ahead of Lassie Baca, Marina Sarica. But Jordan Caruso, there you see the banner. He comes across the line in 12th place and secures himself that Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Super Cup Championship of 2023.
I don't think we can say that he steals the title of Captain Consistent from Diogo Pinto. We'll need to come up with a new nickname for Jordan Caruso. But what a season it's been. Fighting early mornings, fighting fatigue. He's been able to compete with the best in the world. And Australia has yet another champion here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Super Cup.
Yes, there have been 2 champions in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Super Cup come from Australia. Josh Rogers with 2 of those championships. Jordan Caruso now joins him as a fellow champion on the Walk of Champions. And look at him, he's so happy. Arjuna, you've got him right now.
Jordan, you've shown relatively little emotions at times this season, but we can tell what this means to you. Congratulations, you are the champion.
Oh my god. That was... Oh, I can't really believe that, to be honest. In that last race, I felt like I was just in another kind of zone. Like, I just felt really calm. And it didn't sink in until I crossed the line, and then I was like, whoa, that just happened. But, oh my god, I can't believe it. So, yeah, just over the moon.
I've got to ask, what's the celebration plan for the day? Because I'm assuming there's no sleeping happening anytime soon.
No, no way. Good question. Well, I mean, everyone's still asleep that I know, so I don't really know. But I guess, yeah, see how I feel. I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. But, oh, sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm just, yeah, speechless.
Been a very consistent season for you, but the final couple of rounds were not without their turmoil. What was going through your mind coming into this final round, knowing the situation and what you needed to do?
Yeah, I don't know, like Nürburgring and Le Mans, I felt okay, but I'd sort of lost the pace that I had earlier in the season. So for this one, I was like, nah, I'm not doing anything else. So I've been grinding over the past 2 weeks, just doing absolutely everything I can, make sure I didn't miss anything with quali or race pace. And yeah, that was my mentality. Basically put everything behind me and just focus on this one last round, try to do as well as I can. I didn't want to be, you know, I feel like the better your pace is, obviously the less vulnerable you are in the races. So I really just worked on race pace and obviously quali as well. But yeah, I mean, I just worked as hard as I could. And yeah, I'm so happy that it's paid off.
I think that's 3 race victories, 2 pole positions, and the championships. Congratulations on a great 2023. We'll see you next year to defend it, hopefully.
Thank you so much, guys. Also, wait, sorry, quick shout out to everyone who's supported me over the year. Obviously the team, Logitech ELT eSports, and some of my friends and family who are up right now watching. Thanks so much for your support. It means a lot. And yeah, just thanks a lot.
Altus have a world champion. We'll head over to the winner, though, of our main race, because more emotion from Gustavo Ariel. It's always great to see. And Gustavo, seems like provisionally you've done enough to get up into the top 15 as well. How do you reflect on your rookie season now that it's all in the books?
Well, unbelievable. I just want to say thank you everyone who's supporting me. Yeah, I was on a high and low seasons. I had a very difficult first part of the season, and on the mid-season I went to race, so now yeah, I'm there on the pace, and to be honest I relax a bit more. And when I saw, oh, now I'm going to less than top 20 again, so yeah, let's focus, let's work, let's keep working hard, you know. It is always difficult because a little day can change everything. So yeah, that's a lesson for me, how to work properly every round, every corner, every single way to do the setup. So I'm so happy to put my job on track again, to win 3 races this season. Of course, I think you said that Jordan won 3 races, but I'm down the championship. But anyway, it's good to hold the license. It's my rookie year, so I'm so happy to put a Brazilian team and the only Brazilian driver on the series, the only Brazilian driver to win on the series. So I'm so grateful for everyone supporting me, all the team, all the sponsorships, my girlfriend. It's been a lovely season, and I enjoy a lot.
You lead me into my next question. You are the only Brazilian representative in the championship, but next year, are you going to be looking to add to the numbers as part of the TXC Racing by TK crew?
Yeah, for sure. Will be very good to have more drivers in the championship, more Brazilian drivers, and we help each other on the team. So it's very good because we're learning a lot how to manage the team, how to do the proper training, how to increase the R rating to do the top split on endurance races. So it's like a family. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity that TK is giving to me, all the guys on the staff of the team. So yeah, I'm so proud of everyone who's supporting me again, and I just want to say a big thank you, and thank you for the sponsorships. And yeah, let's go for the next season now. It will be exciting.
Second season syndrome. Can't wait to see what we see from you, Gustavo, in 2024. But Paul, what a way to close out the season. Let's take a look at those results.
Yeah, absolutely. Gustavo Ariel, deserved winner here today in this main race. Half a second clear of Charlie Collins in the end, who just pipped Diogo Pinto for second place over third. Lassie Back ends up in fourth ahead of Marina Sarica. Oscar Rinne in sixth place ahead of Jamie Fluke, who fought as hard as he could to get up as far as possible. Alejandro Sanchez in eighth ahead of Salva Talens, with Oscar Mangan ran out in the top 10. Johan Half ahead of your champion Jordan Caruso in 12th place, with Cooper Webster, Luca Kita, Bobby Zelensky. Zach Campbell did all that he could to try and score as many points as possible, with Bryn Collins 17th. Thomas Tetteler, Julian Sonnen, and also Quentin Violate. Biko Job in 22nd. We think that's enough to get him into second place in the championship, with Kevin Nielsen, Sam Keiter, and Matthias Stuckbeck all retiring from the race. Let's have a look then at those points, and it is Jordan Caruso with 511. He wins this championship, but Sebastian Job, a single point between him and Zach Campbell in the end. That just goes to show how close this championship could be, and Charlie Collins getting himself up into fourth place in the end.
Sebastian Job shows as well that championship spirit, right? Even though the honor of number one was gone from any chance of him getting there, he still knew that he had to get back on track to be able to do what he could to grab second, and the prize money associated with that. Charlie Collins does a great job to leapfrog his way up into fourth. But I look at that top 15 and I go, boy, there are some strong names. I look outside the top 15 and I'm like, boy, the Contender Series is going to be even tougher than it's ever been.
Yeah, Fluke and Beneca, two ever presence in this championship. If they want to return, they've got to qualify. There's the rest of them that do not automatically count themselves as eligible for 2024 here in the Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup. My goodness, what a season it has been, Arjuna. And well, we've got it all to look forward to, because of course, coming up after, well, later on this year, we've got qualifying and then the Contender Series for next year's championship.
The road to the World Championship is not easy. It is one that takes you through several stages, all the while fighting with the best that iRacing has to offer. Qualifying series is open to everybody. Contender Series gets whittled down to 30 drivers, 15 from the Super Cup, 15 from the qualifying series, with just 15 spots on the line for the Super Cup. World Championship licenses don't come around too often, Paul. And while I'm not at the caliber to compete, hopefully I'll get to be talking about some of this racing later on this year.
I might have to get the driving gloves out, although according to Quirk, I'm not fast enough. Anyway, final thoughts on the championship, Arjuna, because it has been an absolutely tremendous one, as in fact we just lose Arjuna there, unfortunately. Yeah, it's been a tremendous season. Don't forget, if you are new to iRacing and want to take part, then do check out iRacing.com. 40% off of all new memberships. Arjuna, very quickly then, thoughts on the season? Your first season in this championship.
Apparently, I'm so excited that I want to jump off the sim and go and jump into my car and head out into the real world. It's been so much fun being part of this series. You and I have seen some of these qualifying journeys in the past, and now having been a part of this top level, I'm so excited to go back to the qualifying series and see who's going to shine bright, who will be here in 2024 to battle for the crown.
We see a brand new champion here in 2023, Jordan Caruso from Australia. It has been a well-deserved championship from him. He's done it. Very, very difficult ending to the championship. A little bit of controversy, but we think that he's got enough points to be able to call himself the 2023 Porsche Tag Heuer eSports Supercup champion. Thank you to everybody from behind the scenes here at iRacing, to Porsche as well, our commentary team here, Paul Smith, myself and Arjuna Kankipati, for bringing you all of the action. Make sure you join us sometime soon for the qualifying. Until next time, it's goodbye.